Why? What happened? Are you okay? Yeah, I just went dancing. And You're listening to Improv-ing Business on Web Talk Radio, where personal and business finance take a front row seat. I'm Brandon.
And this is Rick.
And today we'll be talking about the great American Transcontinental Footrace and life's business opportunities. Whether we're talking about your personal career or running a business or even choices that you have to make in your personal life, there's something called opportunity costs. And that's, if I'm going to do this thing and devote my resources to doing it, it's going to tie up my resources, so I'm not going to be able to take other opportunities. We thought the best way to discuss this was by telling a story that happened in 1928 for my great-grandfather, Louis Alfano, and his incredible Transcontinental Footrace, also known as the Bunyan Derby. And the reason why it's called the Bunyan Derby is because it's a race from Los Angeles to New York City, straight across the United States.
Ouch.
Exactly. Gonna have a lot of blisters and bunions after that one. I actually don't know what a bunion is.
Isn't that something you have on the back of your head?
What?
The hair? The women, did they wear bunions?
A bun. That's a bun.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, it's I think a bunion's on the side. The bone sticks out the side of your foot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've had those before.
I know what Funyuns are.
What's that?
They're like a snack, an onion chip snack.
Oh, okay.
That's the closest thing I know.
I think they're the same thing then.
So we have to start off by setting the stage of what was going on at this time in the United States in the 1920s. They were known as the Roaring Twenties because people were having a grand old time before the stock market crash of 1929. It was also a time in the United States with a lot of wealth disparity, in that the rich were very rich and the poor were very poor, and some people say that's the reason why the stock crash happened, because wealth inequality. This was also the time of the Prohibition, which led to a lot of organized crime of people trying to get around this Prohibition law, because people aren't going to give up their cocktails.
And we talked about one of our great uncles, Uncle Albert, when he was involved in that from Kansas City and Chicago.
Running booze against Al Capone, not for Al Capone.
That's right. He learned his lesson.
He did. They impounded his car. The police on Capone's payroll.
Right.
The decade was rife with unrest among workers. There was a lot of communist and socialist demonstrations, and also a lot of lashback against communists and socialists and unions by established business. But because of all this unrest and wealth disparity, people were looking to find a way to make it big. And specifically in the 20s, how this manifested was a lot of marathon-type events, whether it be marathon dance sessions or a 6-day bicycle race across the United States. Transatlantic flights were just becoming a thing. So there was sort of an idea of marathon travel. And in this vein, the Bunyan Derby came about. And the reason why people were so keen on competing in the Bunyan Derby is because it had a huge prize. It was a $43,500 prize, which at the time was an immense amount of money, especially for all these people who were very poor and didn't have many opportunities to get money at all.
Our grandfather was one of those people that were trying to make a living any way they can. One of the things that he wanted to do was save enough money to go back to Italy to marry his bride. He had tried many different things. He was an extra in film.
He played a lot of Native Americans,
right?
Because he was Italian and he had dark skin, and
right, and he knew how to say how, except there were silent
films.
films.
There were silent films. Actually, he wasn't able to transition into talkies because he had such a thick Italian accent.
Right.
That's why he couldn't play Native Americans in westerns when they were talking.
Unless they were spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
Other things he did is from one of our prior podcasts, actually it may have been our first one, Alfano the Great, is he tightrope walked across 2 8-story buildings without a net.